Switzerland versus Canada, the match that could change everything. There are soccer games that feel routine. Then there are soccer games that feel like a turning point. Today, Switzerland and Canada step onto the pitch carrying far more than 3 points. They carry expectations, pressure, national pride, and the hopes of millions watching around the world. In a tournament where every moment matters, this showdown has all the ingredients of a classic. The story surrounding this match is fascinating because both nations arrive with confidence, momentum, and something to prove. Canada enters the game as one of the tournament's most exciting stories. After a dominant performance that sent a message to the rest of the field, the Canadians suddenly find themselves being discussed as more than just a dangerous underdog. They are now viewed as a legitimate threat. Switzerland, meanwhile, represents everything fans respect about international soccer: organized, disciplined, intelligent, ruthless when opportunities appear. For years, the Swiss have built a reputation for frustrating opponents and delivering results when the pressure reaches its highest level. When these styles collide, sparks are almost guaranteed. The biggest question entering today's match is simple: can Canada's explosive attack break through Switzerland's defensive structure? That question alone is enough to keep fans glued to every minute. Canada has played with fearlessness. Their attack moves quickly, their transitions are aggressive, and their confidence seems to grow with every opportunity. When they gain momentum, they can overwhelm opponents in a matter of minutes. What makes Canada particularly dangerous is their willingness to attack from multiple angles. Defenders are forced to make constant decisions. Midfielders are pressured into mistakes. Space opens unexpectedly. For neutral fans, that style is entertaining. For opponents, it can be a nightmare. But Switzerland is not an ordinary opponent. The Swiss thrive in situations where other teams lose control. They rarely panic. They rarely abandon their structure. They rarely allow emotions to dictate their decisions. Instead, they focus on positioning, patience, and precision. While some teams chase the game, Switzerland studies it. They wait for mistakes, they identify weaknesses, then they strike. That contrast creates the perfect sports drama. One team wants speed, one team wants control, one team wants chaos, one team wants order. And somewhere between those two philosophies, today's result will be decided. American sports fans love matchups that feel bigger than the scoreboard. This game delivers exactly that. On one side is a Canadian squad trying to prove that its recent rise is no accident. Soccer in Canada has experienced remarkable growth over the past decade, and performances on the international stage have started to reflect that progress. Every strong result fuels the belief that Canadian soccer has entered a new era. On the other side is Switzerland, a nation that has spent years earning respect through consistency. They may not always generate headlines, but they continue producing results. Tournament after tournament, they find ways to remain relevant. That experience matters, especially in matches like this. The opening 15 minutes could determine everything. Expect Canada to come out aggressively. Expect Switzerland to remain composed. If Canada scores early, the entire dynamic changes. Confidence surges, the crowd energy shifts. Switzerland is forced to become more aggressive. If Switzerland survives the early pressure, however, the advantage may begin swinging toward them. Tournament soccer often rewards patience. That is where Switzerland becomes dangerous. Every pass matters, every defensive rotation matters, every moment of concentration matters. One mistake can define 90 minutes. Another reason this matchup feels so compelling is the psychological battle taking place beneath the surface. Canada enters with growing belief. Switzerland enters with proven confidence. Those are not the same thing. Belief is powerful because it creates momentum. Confidence is powerful because it survives adversity. Eventually, one of those forces will be tested. What happens if Canada falls behind? Can they remain patient? Can they continue playing their style? What happens if Switzerland concedes first? Can they increase the tempo without sacrificing their defensive identity? These questions create tension long before the first whistle. Fans understand that soccer's greatest moments often arrive unexpectedly. A deflected shot, a brilliant counterattack, a goalkeeper's impossible save, a moment of individual brilliance. 1 second can transform an entire tournament. That uncertainty is exactly why people love this sport. As kickoff approaches, analysts continue debating which team holds the edge. Some point toward Canada's attacking firepower. Others highlight Switzerland's experience and discipline. The truth is that both arguments are valid. Canada possesses the energy and momentum capable of overwhelming opponents. Switzerland possesses the structure and composure capable of neutralizing that energy. This is not a matchup where one team clearly outclasses the other. It is a matchup where tiny details may determine everything. Winning second balls, defending set pieces, managing emotions, converting chances, avoiding costly mistakes. Those fundamentals often decide the biggest games. The atmosphere surrounding today's contest only adds to the intrigue. Around North America, interest in soccer continues to grow at an extraordinary pace. Every major tournament creates new fans. Every dramatic finish attracts new audiences. Every breakthrough performance expands the sport's reach. Canada's emergence has become part of that story. A strong result today would further elevate expectations. It would strengthen the belief that this generation can compete with anyone. For Switzerland, the mission is different. Respect has already been earned. Now they want validation. They want to remind the world that organization, discipline, and tactical intelligence remain just as valuable as speed and flair. That message resonates deeply with soccer purists. Championships are rarely won through talent alone. They are won through execution. Switzerland understands that better than most. The midfield battle may ultimately become the most important area of the field. Goals attract headlines. Midfield wins matches. Who controls possession? Who dictates tempo? Who forces mistakes? Who remains calm under pressure? The answers to those questions could shape the final outcome. Canada would prefer a fast, open contest filled with transitions and attacking opportunities. Switzerland would likely welcome a more controlled environment where every decision carries weight. Fans should pay close attention to those subtle shifts. They often reveal where the match is heading before the scoreboard does. Another factor that cannot be ignored is pressure. As tournaments progress, pressure grows heavier. Every player feels it. Every coach feels it. Every fan feels it. Some teams embrace that pressure, others struggle beneath it. The most successful teams learn how to transform pressure into focus. That ability often separates contenders from pretenders. Today's game offers both nations a chance to make a statement, not tomorrow, not next week, today. A victory would send a message throughout the tournament. It would announce that this team deserves to be taken seriously. It would generate confidence inside the locker room. It would create concern among future opponents. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in sports. The teams that capture it become dangerous. The teams that sustain it become unforgettable. For viewers, this is exactly the type of matchup that makes international soccer special. Different cultures, different styles, different histories. One field, one match, one opportunity. By the final whistle, someone will leave with more than points. Someone will leave with belief. Someone will leave with momentum. Someone will leave knowing that the path ahead suddenly looks brighter. The beauty of sports is that nobody truly knows how the story ends. Predictions are easy. Reality is harder. That is why millions will watch. That is why every challenge, every pass, every shot, and every save will feel important. Because this is not merely Switzerland versus Canada. It is composure versus momentum. Experience versus ambition. Structure versus freedom. And when those forces collide, unforgettable moments tend to follow. So whether you are cheering for Switzerland, backing Canada, or simply enjoying great soccer, prepare yourself for a match that could become one of the defining moments of the tournament. 90 minutes, 2 nations, countless expectations. One massive opportunity. The stage is set. Now the world waits to see who rises to the occasion.